It's 34 VibeNation. All gas, no brakes.
Well, hello again, it's me, right back at you with another video. And in today's video, I am honestly just going to ramble a little bit, if that's okay. I have a lot on my mind basketball-wise, and I have nobody else to talk to because I'm sad and lonely, and I decided just not to go to school today for the heck of it because I didn't feel like it, and that's enough reason to not go. So, before I get started, I'd like to announce that my favorite NBA player of all time, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, is still in free agency. So I heard that the Lakers are looking at signing Isaiah Thomas. What I haven't heard is them getting Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. I don't understand how MKG is still in free agency. I don't understand how Isaiah Thomas is in free agency. But all I'm saying is that if there are any NBA scouts listening to this video, please pick up Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. You are missing out. He's an elite defender, Michael Jordan defense, and his number 14 follows me around everywhere. I am basically a Michael Kidd-Gilchrist fanboy. So please pick my guy up. That'd be much appreciated. Love you, Michael. All right, let's get started. So my prediction for the Charlotte Hornets, I'm not going to talk too much about the Hornets. I'm serious, was that they would go 34-38. I made that after the All-Star break. It was right at the end of the All-Star break before the season picked up again. I made that prediction, 34-38. And I even picked out the games we'd be winning and losing. And boy, oh boy, did, what was it? What day was it? It was Sunday against the Wizards. Yeah, up by 10 going into the fourth quarter. Hornets lose to the Wizards like I knew we would. And, yeah, 33-39, one win off from my prediction, which really sucked. Honestly, I basically tore everything off my walls Hornets related, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm okay now. I'm fine. So yeah, the Hornets are the 10 seed, and they're going up against the Pacers today, actually. I'll be quite honest, I will probably not watch. I basically disowned my Hornets the rest of the season just because I'm pissed that I was one win off from my prediction. I know that sounds stupid, but honestly, I wasn't even excited for the Hornets playoff-wise because I didn't think they'd get there. And honestly, even if they get past the Pacers today, who might get Sabonis and Brogdon back, I don't think they will get past the Celtics or Wizards in that next round, especially with Gordon being out. It's just highly unlikely. And if it does happen, then I will be the first to say that I was wrong. But I want to talk about just things around the league. So we talk about the Warriors. The Warriors beat the Grizzlies in the last game of their regular season, meaning that the Warriors clinched the 8th seed, and then the Trailblazers and Lakers won. But because the Trailblazers had the tiebreaker, the Lakers are now the 7th seed and are going to play the Golden State Warriors in the play-in tournament today. And I am hyped, guys. I'm telling you, the very first time I ever really started getting into basketball or noticing basketball was Cavs versus Warriors. Many people don't know this about me, but back when I knew nothing about basketball, I was a Cavs fan. I was a Cavaliers fan. I liked the Cavaliers. And quite honestly, I am a fan of that team. I am a fan of the Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, LeBron James, Tristan Thompson, Kyrie Irving team. I am a fan of that team because that's the team that I grew up hearing about in school and whatnot. And the team that I liked. I reminisced a few weeks back and realized that for a while Kyrie Irving was one of my favorite players. Just because I liked the Cavs and I hated the Warriors because you could not pick both sides. You had to pick one side. And I remembered always knowing who LeBron James was growing up and how he was chasing Michael Jordan's footsteps. But I had always known who Michael Jordan was. Everybody knew who MJ was. And I thought MJ was the greatest of all time. But I wanted to see if LeBron could get to where Michael Jordan was too. Because whenever somebody talked about Michael Jordan, another person said something about LeBron James. And when I saw Steph Curry, I saw somebody standing in the way of LeBron gaining championships and gaining fame. And so I always cheered against Steph Curry. I made fun of him and stuff for him chewing on his mouth guard, hitting so many shots. I just hated him. He was a ball. He was just a babyface assassin. That's truly it. I hated Draymond Green. Oh my goodness, I hated Draymond Green. And I just didn't like how the Warriors were good and standing in the way of LeBron James. But all that being said, it coming down to Warriors and Lakers in the play-in is hype, because I remember from the very beginning watching LeBron versus Steph Curry, and now it's happening all over again. Both of them a little older, just a little, but it's going to be fun. And honestly, without a doubt, I seriously think that unless somebody gets injured, both teams will make the playoffs. I think it's going to be Lakers in the 7th seed, Warriors in the 8th seed. That's my prediction. If Steph Curry wins tonight against the Lakers, LeBron, I'm never going to forgive LeBron for that, because, oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding. Come on, man. I'm predicting that if the Warriors win and the Lakers lose, then the Lakers will win that next round, and they will end up going to they will end up going up against the Jazz, and they will upset the Jazz, which would be nuts. I kind of don't want that to happen because I like the Jazz, but I feel like it's inevitable and that LeBron will not lose in the first round. That's just not possible to me. I don't think that's possible. And I'm not a LeBron fanboy anymore, but I'm just thinking realistically. But if the Warriors fall to the 8th seed, I think that the Jazz will probably take them out in 6. I think Steph Curry and Dre and Wiggs will all work together and get at least 2 games. But at the end of the day, I just think the Warriors don't have the depth that they need. Like, Kelly Oubre is going to need to be playing if they're going to try and do anything. And, like, they're going to need guys like Baze and Kevon Looney just to step up Damian Lee. But that's the thing. Like, Michael Porter, Juan Toscano Anderson, those are good glue guys and whatnot. But they're just, they're just there. I mean, don't get me wrong. They are good players. But at the same time, they're not a championship team. I would love for the Warriors, because honestly, ever since the Warriors kind of fell off and dealt with all the injuries and Steph Curry breaking his hand and then falling to the lottery and being garbage, I've kind of been cheering for them. I really have, because in a sense, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I missed the Warriors dynasty. I always wanted them to get beat up and torn apart. So that's why during the Raptors series, I was basically hopping and jumping for joy, especially because my younger brother is a Warriors fan. But as time went on, I started to feel really bad. And, I started to really look into who Steph Curry is as a person outside of basketball. And the dude's just a good person, genuinely good, nice guy. And it's hard not to cheer for him. And seeing him once he came back onto the court, and especially this season, the dude loves having fun. He'll hit a 3, drain it from half court, and do little finger guns. So, oh my goodness. He is just, whenever I see Steph Curry just highlights of him just dancing around the court, I cannot not smile. It's really satisfying to see Steph Curry do well. And Draymond Green. Shout out Draymond Green. He did not put up a lot of points this season. I think with Clay coming back next year, that could change unless Draymond gets traded, which I really hope he doesn't. But shout out to him for becoming a better passer, because the man finished this season almost averaging, I think, 9 assists per game, which is nuts. 7, I think it was 7 and 9, 8.9, whatever. I mean, shout out to Draymond Green, man. And they're saying he could be on an all-defensive team. Man, that's the Draymond Green that you want. I think, and Andrew Wiggins has stepped up defensively too this season, and he's been a bright spot too. I just think overall they have those 3 guys, and that's about it. And they don't even have Wiseman, so that's my prediction for that side. All right, moving on from Lakers Warriors, because I'm going down a rabbit hole. Let's talk about the East. So Philly's a 1 seed. Me being a Sixers fan, that is great. Actually, I want to get this clear real quick. I am a Sixers fan, but I am a better Hornets fan. So the first year I started watching basketball, really watching basketball, was 2018-19. I was a late bloomer, you could say, when it comes to basketball. My brother got me into basketball. I've said that multiple times on this channel, because I was a bit of a nerd in middle school. Star Wars geek, whatever. Wasn't very athletic. And I remember this game, watching the Hornets in the early 2018-19, and Kemba Walker dropped 60. But Joel Embiid kept on getting to the free throw line. And I hated him because of how big and how unstoppable he was. And it's just he just like kept getting to the basket over and over and over again, and then Jimmy Butler ended the game off of a crazy good shot, and the rest is history. Somehow that hatred for Joel Embiid turned into a love for Joel Embiid's game and the big man game, and I somehow became a Sixers fan. Hornets always first, then it's Philly, but I kind of had it to where it's like, okay, I can cheer for the Hornets, a very terrible team, and then I can also have a good team. Now, if I'm keeping it straight, if the Seattle Supersonics were in the NBA, and let's say when they come back, Supersonics are my second, if not first favorite team. I cannot get over how much I love the Sonics colors, their history, their culture. Oh, I just love everything about those jerseys, man. The colors, just the color scheme, the dark green, the yellow, gold, whatever. I just love that about the Supersonics. It's just true, you know? And so I hope that the Supersonics come back soon. But anyways, Philly's my basically second favorite team. But even being a Philly fan, you know, I can admit that I don't think Joel Embiid deserves the MVP, mainly because he missed so much time. Also, he's had some awful games, a few awful games, and as a big man, I don't see how you do that. Like, if your shots aren't falling, drive, you know, and get fouled and hit your free throws like that. I don't understand how Joel Embiid will have games where he has like 6 points. Like, I just don't understand. And him getting hurt, you know, he's injury prone, but I think he stayed out a little too long. And props to Jokic, but I'll save that for later. Anyways, Philadelphia as a whole, you know, I kind of wish we had traded Ben Simmons, but at the same time, I'm glad we didn't, just to keep our core. You know, it's the trust the process core. And I think we can get past whoever the A seed ends up being. If it ends up being the Wizards, I think that Philly will win, but guys, it could go to 5 or 6. Like, I do not think it's gonna be an easy series. I do not think it's gonna be an easy series. And when I say 5 or 6, you might think, oh well, 5 is basically a gentleman's sweep. Yeah, but I think that some of the wins the Sixers would get out of that 5-game series would be very close. Like, we could see like an overtime game, because yeah, true, the Wizards only really have Westbrook and Beal and a couple role players, but have you seen what Westbrook has done to help his teammates? I mean, Robin Lopez was near averaging 10 points per game at the end of the season just based on getting dishes from Russell Westbrook. I mean, Russell Westbrook, statistically, I learned this the other day, he averaged the most assists per game in a season, singular player, since John Stockton in the 94-95 season. Did you hear me? 26 years. Russell Westbrook is averaging like 11.73 assists per game from this past season. Did not miss many games at all. If he did, they were from like towards the beginning of the season. And he has the most assists in a season since John Stockton. The closest anybody has gotten was Rajon Rondo. He had 2 seasons where he put up 11.70 assists per game, and Russ had 11.73. So it was very narrow, but if you think about it statistically, he did do it, and so he just makes his teammates better, and it's so much fun to watch Westbrook go, because like so many people were hating on him and washed up. He is not washed. I've seen him with my own eyes playing basketball. He is not washed. He is trying to prove something to people, especially like Stephen A. Smith. Guys, he's trying to prove something, and I could see that series going to 6. Other than that, I think whoever they go up against in the second round, if they go against Miami, they can win. I think they have a greater chance against Miami than Milwaukee. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I don't know if they can go up against Miami. We'll see. We'll see in general. Knicks, if they end up going against the Knicks, they could go up against the Knicks. If they go up against the Knicks, then it's going to be an easy series. I think that will be an easy series. If everybody plays well and stays healthy, that should be an easy series. And I'm cheering for the Knicks, believe it or not. I just think that matchup is overwhelming. Okay, next up, the Brooklyn Nets. So, depending on who ends up being the 7th seed, which I think could end up being the Wizards. It could not be. Could be the Celtics. Could be Wizards. We'll see what happens. Depending on that, I still think that they're going to win. I have the Brooklyn Nets as my championship favorites as long as everybody stays healthy. When you see a team that has James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, and then you combine that with the likes of a still good-looking Blake Griffin, good-looking player, he doesn't look super aged recently, and then you take somebody like DeAndre Jordan, right? And then you take glue guys, like tough, nitty-gritty guys like Bruce Brown. And you take shooters like Landry Shamet. And you take other like Furkan Korkmaz. You combine that all together. Oh, and then you have a sharpshooter in Joe Harris. What am I saying? How am I thinking about sharpshooters and not thinking about Joe Harris? Wait, did I say Furkan Korkmaz? Sorry, I got so confused for a second on what team I was talking about. I thought I was talking about Philly for a second. Nope, talking about Brooklyn. No, they have Joe Harris, they have Landry Shamet. I think I got confused because Landry used to play for the Sixers. Yeah. And then they have Jeff Green, man, Uncle Jeff. So see, they have so many different outlets that they could go to. And I think if all of them stay healthy and work together, then it's a wrap. Like, I don't see how I don't even see LeBron James winning. And then Milwaukee, right? Milwaukee is set. They are going to play up against the Heat. And guys, I can't really pick between these teams. I really can't. I can't. I don't think I'm actually going to talk about those teams until playoff time comes around. I know I was talking about the Sixers and Nets and Jazz. But I just can't talk about those middle teams because I can't. Time will tell, right? So I'm going to try and keep this play-in related because 7, 8 seeds, they matter against the 1 and 2 seeds. That's why I've been talking about the 1 and 2 seeds. So then I guess if I've talked about 3 of the 4 top 2 seeds, then let me talk about the Suns. The Suns are a very good team. They are underrated. But I think if they end up going up against the Lakers, they are doomed. I don't see how they can beat the Lakers. If they did beat the Lakers, I think that would put a stamp on Chris Paul for one of the all-time top 10 greatest point guards ever. Maybe top 5. Simply because he beat LeBron James. And in order to beat LeBron James, he's going to have to do something nuts, I think. Because there's no way Devin Booker's carrying that entire team. Unless Ayton steps up and becomes freaking Dikembe Mutombo, and Devin Booker ends up turning into Kobe Bryant. I don't know. Or Frank Kaminsky turns into Jesus or something. I don't know. Either way, I don't see how they're going to get past the Lakers. And if they ended up going up against the Warriors, I do think they will win. Will they win in 6? Yeah, probably. Maybe not. Maybe they can clamp up the Warriors. I don't know. Time will tell. But if they go up against the Lakers, either way, whoever goes up against the Lakers in the first round is doomed. Unless somebody gets hurt for the Lakers. And then besides that, we have stuff like, obviously, Pacers, Hornets. Keep it brief. I think we're not getting out. I said that earlier. And then we have Grizzlies versus Spurs. Honestly, guys, I think the Grizzlies are lame. I just think the Grizzlies are a boring team. I know. But Ja Morant is the most overrated point guard in the NBA, in my opinion, right now. Simply because his stats are lame. And I know. Stat head. I get it. But I'm just talking about, he will go into a game scoring, 4 points on, 1 for 12. And it's just bro, how can you be top 10 point guard in the NBA right now doing that, man? Come on, he's barely averaging 19 points per game, which is, it's great and all, but, he hasn't taken that crazy step like Zion Williamson has. Zion is a better player than Ja Morant right now, and I don't care if he's not in the play-in. Honestly, they should have been in the play-in had nobody gotten hurt. So that's the bottom line on that end. I'm glad they got Jaren Jackson Jr. back. I think they will beat the Spurs, but I also think that DeMar DeRozan has been getting so much hate, and that if he ends up showing up and turning up, then he can lead that Spurs team to an upset against the Grizzlies. But then at that point, like, if they go up against the Warriors or the Lakers, they're losing. I truly think they're losing. It would take something nuts. Pop would have to come up against something wild. Like, he would have to pull something deep out of the bag. But, which I know he can, but I'm just saying. That'd be very interesting to see. So, I think the teams to look for in this play-in scenario are the Wizards, the definitely Celtics, Lakers, and Warriors. And then, if I was to pick one dark horse team, East-West, between the Pacers, Hornets, and the Grizzlies, Spurs. I think if I had to choose one, it would end up being the Spurs. I think they are a little underrated. I was close to saying Indiana. It just depends on if Sabonis and Brogdon come back. Like, they've struggled so much with injuries this year. I know the Hornets have too, but the Pacers have done worse. Like, they've struggled worse. So, yeah, I think stuff's tough for them. And I would not be surprised if their guys come back. They can make a run. They will destroy the Hornets probably today if their guys come back. If not, then maybe the Hornets have a chance. I don't know. But anyways, guys, that's it for me from today. Y'all stay safe. Y'all take care. And I'll be back later. Peace out, guys.